Meanwhile, the South African wine industry stands to lose substantial share of the US wine market as the 30% tariffs on South African exports in the United States kick in. Well, over the last 25 years, SA wine exports to the US have enjoyed a zero tariff under the African Growth and Opportunity Act, AGOA, but that's due to end within a few weeks. And there's another layer to consider. The US's complex three-tier distribution system. Now, this adds a substantial extra cost, raising retail pricing. All considered, an increase of around 50% after importers, distributors and retailers each add their margin. South Africa's wine exports to the US amount to around 600 million rand per year. Joining me now is Denise Stubbs, CEO of Thokozani Wines. Welcome to Business on Point. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Showing off your beautiful background there, hey? Your beautiful view.
Well, have a nice day.
Let's start with the latest harvest, a bumper crop as I understand. And have winemakers been able to export their wines in time to avoid the new tariffs?
Oh my goodness. I think there's no other way to put this. We're under tremendous pressure. As everyone knows, we went through a terrible drought. And no, the answer is just no. How do you export wines when you know that we're not sure we're going to end up tomorrow? So our wines are still on its way, but with these tariffs, we're not sure what's going to happen.
Why is the United States market so important to the SA wine industry?
It's very simple. It's been one of our biggest cash cows. Because most of our wines go out in volumes. There's good tenders that happens within the US. We were very instrumental also with AGOA, and there was really hope for all of us, especially our SMMEs, smaller businesses. And we had a tender with in Pennsylvania, and we wanted to grow it. It was like 4 containers a year. And that is exactly where and how you pay your salaries. So, yeah, it's already affecting. We are quite anxious about that.
Now, around 2/3 of South African wine shipments to the USA are bulk wine exports, budget wines that are competitively priced. Now, with the tariffs, this market will certainly be hit hard.
Definitely. South Africa produce quality wines, firstly. And also you are so lucky to enjoy these amazing wines at affordable prices. And that's why we are doing so well abroad, especially within the US. And also with the whole empowerment of the wine industry. What we're doing here at Thokozani, at Dimasfontein Wine and Country Estate, this is the story that people really invested and resonated with, that we actually came so far, and look, the US has now finally supported us. And now, I don't want to be negative, but I just want to be very realistic. It's a simple announcement to say that the tariffs will go up. But if you don't understand what's really happening on a farm like this, how many people you employ, and it's very labor intensive, I'm just not sure what is going to be the next step.
How can South African wine exporters like yourselves adapt? And now it's about trying to focus more on other countries, or maybe push to increase high-end bottles to the United States?
Yeah, I think what we're already trying to do is to be proactive. So, yes, since we already knew it's coming, we were so sure that AGOA will still go well. We've been very proactive by having a lot of meetings, sitting around tables, looking at alternative markets. The EU market is now really for us key. We're starting to looking at the Chinese market and so on. If you're talking about bottles and how we need to cut costs, everything is already so expensive. You mentioned about bulk wines. A lot of people that do that, they have their reasons, but the margins is so little. We have not really looked at costing so much. It's because the margins is already so low. We need to start looking at alternatives. And like with Canada currently coming on board, South Africa looking at new trade agreements, we are actively involved with that. And our Western government is really working around the clock now to make this work for our wine people.
You have touched on the AGOA agreement, and that's due to end at the end of September. How big is your involvement, not just you as an individual wine maker, but the whole SA wine industry? Excuse me. How involved are you guys in talks to try and extend that? Because that would be an ideal situation, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. So we've been working with the Western Cape Government and Agriculture with Dr. Ivan Meyer, Minister of Agriculture, Economic Development and Tourism. And then we've also been working hand in hand with Westgrow. They're playing a significant role. Wines of South Africa, of course, and SA Wine, all the major players, that we're trying to look at alternatives of how we can change this. You know, everything is so unclear for all of us at the moment. We hear about what's happening, but we're not sure about what's coming still. And with AGOA, and it was always about trade agreements, because the three-tier system within America is already, it's been holding us back. It's so expensive, it's time intensive, and AGOA was just, we South Africans, we're part of it, we're part of Africa, and this was now the gateway into America. Sometimes you don't want to let your emotions speak, but I've been in the industry now for 22 years, and it just feels every time you're there, something new comes up, and then like what Mr. Trump or the president is doing currently, he don't have half of the clue what he's really doing to this industry.
Denise, how can the South African wine industry essentially pivot to increase exports to other countries to fill that potential gap left by US exports?
I actually just had a meeting this morning with the Department of Trade Industry, and we spoke briefly with Westgrow as well, and I mean tomorrow is WOSA meetings. Everyone is currently around tables and see how we can better this. I think we need to have our statistics and due diligence done of really how it affects the whole of the industry, and take the leaders together and make it work. See how we can cut costs, how we can do it better, how we can definitely penetrate other markets. The good thing is there's a lot of other countries that want to know South Africa now more, that want to do business with us. I will never forget the Minister of Finance in Canada, Minister Champagne, saying that we're kicking open an open door, and that for me is very exciting. So I think altogether we need to stand firm. We need to speak to the right people. And we as South Africans, we're very resilient. But it's really getting to that point where we need to make the right decisions and really be proactive about this industry.
Denise, I think it's also about just re-establishing or reasserting the product value, its provenance, and all the good things and special things about South African wine to attract new business globally.
Absolutely. Listen, I mean, I grew up as a laborer's child, and what I know for today about wines is so amazing. I always say this is the art that I never knew. Oh. And if you get into a bottle of South African wine, you can feel the fact that so much love goes in it. And we here at Fontaine, we have an amazing story of workers, and our slogan is, we work the land and we own the brand.
Denise, so, I think we'll leave it right there. I like that. I like your slogan. It's really inspiring and uplifting. Thank you so much for chatting to us. Denise Stubbs, CEO of Thokozani Wines, on those US tariffs.